Hi and welcome to Mama's Kitchen. And today, if you have a family, a big family, and you want something quick and easy to cook, why don't you try traditional Bolognese? So we'll get started. Now, first things first, onion. Right, and here we have over here our ingredients. Our ingredients is steak mince, pasta sauce, chopped tomatoes, and as my husband, he doesn't like pasta, he likes Mexican style rice. 2 minutes in the microwave, spot on. And then finish off with your meal, some nice garlic baguette. First things first, you have your large pan we get a garlic infused olive oil. Well, it beats having to chop the garlic and put it in the pan. Why don't you make life easier and get one that's infused with garlic? Right, so let's get started. So, at Mama's house, make sure you've got a nice clean worktop. As you can see, this has been worn out a little bit with all the cooking that I've done here. But we're going to chop the onion now. Traditionally, you should have a nice chopping board to chop the onion on. But in this house, it's quick and easy at Mama's house. So, get the netting off the onion in the bin. There we go. Nice big sharp knife. Slice through button. Right. So as you see, I chop my onions just like this. Get the nasty bits off the side. Oh, that's a bit of a shitty onion, so we'll get rid of that onion. Got a bit of windy pop there. So we'll get a nice fresh onion that my husband has just bought today from our local shop, Aldi. Get a nice big juicy onion back in the fridge. And then we'll chop this onion, chop that crap off there. Just a bit of crap there. Put that in the bin. And then slice it down the middle. Get all the shite off the onion. Bit of a little onion, that, isn't it? Right. And then just chop it. Watch your fingers. Usually me, I drop onion everywhere. And it's fine, the chopped onion. Get rid of this shite off the onion. Chop that one. Onion, and then get your nice big pan and plonk your onion in the pan. Don't waste any onion. And now we're going to fry that off slightly. So your onions not fried, but you know, a bit clear. So it's got a bit soft, so you don't have hard onion in your bolognese. So now let me wash my hands. Onion hands. I don't want onion hands here now. Wash my hands. Always wash hands when you're cooking. Don't want no germs. Now we're going to turn the pans on So put his water on so it gets to a slight boil. We'll add a bit of salt to the water. Not too much salt, it's bad for you. That's it. And then we'll just fry these off a little bit. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, they've changed the mince, you see. They come in these suction packs, and it's a bit like corned beef. But once you get it in the pan and break it all up and that, it's just like normal mince. It doesn't look that bad actually, once it's cooked. It looks a bit shite in the pack. but once it's in the pan cooking, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? So, if you ever see them like this, don't think, oh, I can't use that. But if you're a bit elderly and you've got funny hands, it's hard to get out. You've got to really squeeze it out of the pack. But it's not that bad. So where's the big spoon? You can see this is my cutlery drawer. You just plonk all the big things in the drawer. Now, this is my favourite spoon for any pasta dishes. You don't want anything closed because all juices, you know, you're going to lose them. So you've got to keep them in the pan. So, get that frying off nicely. On a lot, not too high a heat, low heat. Right? And then in my Bolognese, I add carrot. Right? Because carrot traditionally is nice in Bolognese. So get a nice big carrot. Just like that. If you don't know what a carrot is, it's long and orange. Yep, carrot. Now you could use a peeler, but sod it, I'll just use my knife. Be careful not to cut yourself. Oh, I know what we forgot. Cheese. We forgot cheese. Oh. Well, we have got some cheese. So peel your carrot. Now, if there's anything you'd like me to make, then just put it in the notes what you'd like to know how to make. So if you just subscribe and save and like my post, you know, you don't have to, but you can. Right. So then what we do with this little grater, easy grater. No messing about with a big grater, it's just a simple, easy one. And then grate some carrot into your Bolognese. Big firm grip and grate. Now you might not need all this carrot, just enough to think of it like a spice, a bit of extra spice to your Bolognese. There we are. Let's have a look. I think we need, yeah, a bit more. We'll have some more in that. then rinse that. We'll need this later for the cheese. The cheese that we didn't buy. Just pretend we're going to have some Parmesan cheese, but we didn't buy any. Alright. Now, as you can see here, I made this earlier. Just like Greg's pan of chocolate. Quite simple recipe, comes in a bag. You put it on your tray on a bit of parchment paper, and it's just like Greg's pan of chocolate. Yep. All that fighting about when it comes in a bag, and you just put it on your tray. Simple. You're not having to piss about when you normally like you would do when you're baking, but don't worry, we'll get to baking at some point. But today, can't be asked. So we're just going to have Greg's pan of chocolate. Let's get rid of all this muck. Got to keep a clean work surface. Keep hands washed. No cooking in. Can't cook and be all mucky, can you? Now, if you're interested, we've got another channel called Daddy's Garden. And Daddy's Garden helps you understand how to do basic gardening. For them that don't have much understanding about gardening. Do you not like how do you cut your grass? How do you look after your plants? You know, basic stuff like that. Okay, so as you can see, back to the bolognese. So we fry that all off. Look at that, orange and white, juicy. Now I'm going to show you how to get into these corned beef bags and how to squeeze it out the bag. Get your knife, slice. And squeeze. Voila. Don't leave any behind. And you sort of give it a good chop up. Chop it up. Chop, chop, chop. Like that, just let it cook a bit. Until it gets that browny colour. Once it starts to go like a brown colour, then hopefully it's easier to chop up, and then eventually it turns into your normal mince. Right? Brown like shit. That's the colour you're looking for. Brown shit. But once you put your tomato on, you don't see no brown colour. It's red. Now, with a big family, you need a good amount of mince because they're all greedy. They need big portions. There's no portion control in our house. It's big sizes and big sizes only. Now normally you'd have bolognese with pasta, but in our house we have bolognese with chips because they don't want pasta, they want chips. Now, but if it's good enough bolognese, chips are alright, but you can't have chips all the time. You need a bit of pasta, don't you? I don't think bolognese is bolognese without pasta. So there's your little mince going in. So in this one we have 500 grams. And then the large size one, let me just check. We have 750 grams. So 750, 500, that's 1250 grams. Now, if there's 6 of you eating bolognese, because the fat bastards that need big portions, we need 1250 grams of mince just to feed 6 people. What do you think about that? Is that greedy? Or is that the right amount? Would you say? So you let me know in the comments if that's greedy. So don't forget, that's the mince. Corned beef mince. That turns into mince. From Aldi. Cheap and cheerful. So it cost me £8 for 1250 grams of mince. Bobbing bastard. So we'll give that a good mix. Keep chopping till eventually it doesn't look like corned beef. Right, that's it. Now I'll be back in a while, so I'm gonna go have a think. Alright, thanks. Hi and welcome to part 2 of Mama's Kitchen. Right, so in part 2 now we have just cooked the pan of chocolate that I made earlier from Greg's in a bag. So there they are, all nicely baked. Hopefully later on for pudding. Now as you can see, there's 4 of them, but there's 6 of us, so 2 are going to have to do without because there's only 4. So they charge £3.50 for pan of chocolate in a bag, but you only get 4. So somebody's going to have, 2 of them are going to have to do without. And that's Greg's from Iceland. So there you go. If you want to buy them and bake them, so it's like having fresh pan of chocolate, then at least you can buy them from Iceland. Spot on. Right, back to the Bolognese. Now, as you can see all the juices now, all that fat that's coming from that corned beef mince. It's starting to come together a little bit. What you're looking for is all this has to be all nicely broken up, cooked, no fat should be left in the pan by the time we've cooked it all. Because the one thing you don't want in a bolognese is greasy bolognese, do you? All over your chips, all greasy fat. All over your pasta, greasy, and no, it's not very nice. You want a nice, dry mince. And as I was once taught many years ago by a Spanish lady, she never had any fat left in the pan when she was making bolognese. So I've always stuck to that motto, that you don't leave any fat in the pan, because the juices are going to come from your chopped tomatoes, your pasta sauce. Now you can make your own pasta sauce, you don't have to buy these jars, it's just easier. You know, if you want to make a quick meal, and bolognese is one of the easiest meals anybody can make, and everybody who's anybody knows how to make bolognese. If you don't know how to make bolognese, then I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with you. Right? Well, there must be something wrong with you if you can't make a bolognese. It's easy, simple. But if you wanted to make your own, oh, there's something else I forgot. Oregano. We need a bit of oregano. I've got some spices, but some herbs, but I haven't got oregano. You should always add oregano to a bolognese. It just gives it that taste. But if you're making your own bolognese, always use chopped tomatoes, any type of chopped tomatoes at all, and tomato puree, and that's your own sauce. You don't need to use these sauces, but I can tend to do a bit of both sometimes. Now, pasta we're using, you can get fresh pasta non-fresh pasta, but today we're having falfalis, valley, or whatever they pronounce it, by ragu, authentic Italian farfalle. Wheat pasta, 100% natural durum wheat. Right, I like these because your tomato goes inside these cracks in pasta and it's more juice, more flavour. Now, I like any pasta, it don't matter what it is, but this is nice for a bolognese. Or you want spaghetti, you can use spaghetti. Fresh spaghetti is quite nice. Fresh pasta's lovely. Easiness, boiling the pan pasta. Quite easy. Right, and as I told you, my husband, he don't like pasta, so he has rice. Because he likes a bit of Chinese and Italian mixed together as a combination. Bit of a combo there going on, isn't there? Chinese, Italian infusion. Worldwide food, like Mexican style rice. Don't like it, but my husband does. Good for him. Oh, and as well as that, chips. You can't not have chips with anything. Oh, and to top it off, does anybody else do this with all their meals? No matter what you're having, mayonnaise all over everything. Sunday dinner, mayonnaise. Chips. Now, chips and mayonnaise are nice, yeah, but not on every meal. It's like, do you taste your meal or do you taste mayonnaise? Does anybody do that? Put it in the comments. Do you put mayonnaise all over your food? So now, back to the bolognese. So, let's get this mushed up a bit more. So it's looking more like mince instead of corned beef. Come on, chop, chop. You've got to really give it some welly. A bit of welly. Chopping up this mince. Now, if you've got arthritis in your hands, this isn't the mince for you. You need to buy from the butchers mince that looks like mince, because they might be making it easier on less packaging, but they're not making it easy on the consumer, because it's a bit of a nightmare having to chop it all up to make it look like mince. So, there's another question. Where do you buy your mince from? And does it look like corned beef? Now, once it's done and everything, it looks like bolognese. Right, so I'll come back for part 3. I'm just off for another fag. See you then. Welcome to part 3 of Mama's Kitchen. Part 3. So, have a good look at the mince now. All looking more like mince. Can you see mince? Can you all see mince in that pan? Yeah. Right, so as you can see, it's drying out a bit more now. Nearly there. We've got still slightly bits of oil there in the pan, so just a bit longer in the pan. But now we're going to add some herbs, some pepper, some salt, and a bit of extra garlic just to give it a bit of extra taste in the pan. So now we'll add some pepper first. Not too much pepper, you don't have to taste peppery, but you do need your salt and pepper. Always need your salt and pepper for a bit of taste. Then we're going to add a bit of salt, not too much, just a sprinkle. Now if you're posh, you'd have your salt in one of these, but we're not posh, just a big table salt portion, you know, lasts a while. So we'll keep that one. Right. Then we're going to add a bit of parsley, a bit of green in your pan, and then some basil. And basil, as we all know, goes well with tomato. So that's your basil. Mix all that in. Now, normally I'd put oregano in, but because my brain's like a sieve, I totally forgot we needed oregano. So no oregano, but normally I would have oregano in the bolognese. So let me just wait a minute because we've got to take something out of the oven. This is Greg's sausage roll. Now you can buy these from Iceland, £3.50 a box. Greg's bake in the oven sausage roll. If you want a bit of freshness, fresh tasting, you have a Greg's sausage roll. Now I'm not having Greg's sausage roll. This is for, what was it for?
Granddaughter.
Oh, is it for granddaughter?
Yeah.
Oh, she's not having bolognese?
No.
No, she's having sausage roll. So we'll let that cool down. We don't want to burn her mouth, do we? Right. So, back to the bolognese. Right, is any of the fat gone yet? Nearly. Nearly gone. Right, now we're going to add a bit of garlic puree. Just for an extra taste of garlic. Can't go wrong with garlic, can you? You don't need loads, just a bit. Bit of easy squeezy garlic. No chopping, no messing about, just a bit of squeezy garlic. Can't be bothered. Get squeezy garlic. Plonk it in your pan. Now, if you're looking at me right now in this video and you're thinking, well, she's a big lady, isn't she? Might she got a bra on? Well, who wears a bra when they're at home? What's the first thing you do as a woman when you get through that door? Take your bra off. Who wants to be cooking, slaving over an oven with a bra on? Not me. So, say what you like. I'm not wearing a bra. Right. Next thing on the list, chopped tomatoes. So, add your chopped tomatoes. If it looks like it's ready, looks like it's cooked long enough, it looks more like mince, then you add to that your chopped tomatoes. You're gonna, and just be careful not to hurt yourself with the tin. Tins are lethal. Plunk that in. Bit of nice juicy chopped tomato and rich tomato juice. Where from? Mix all that in. Really mix it. Now, you've got fussy kids, right? My kids don't mind having chopped tomatoes and tomato in the bolognese, but chunky chopped tomatoes, they don't want to see it. So you spend your the tomato into the mince. So you're disguising that chopped tomato, and then they'll eat it. Our kids are fussy. They don't. If there's anything you want to add to a bolognese, like mushrooms or whatever, puree it down, mix it down, disguise it in the bolognese. They don't know they're having it. It's just it's in there, but it's disguised. Right. So you let that cook for a bit, so you can mush down the chopped tomatoes just a bit longer. So before you add anything else, you don't want to show any signs that there's any chopped tomatoes in there. Now, if it were just myself, my husband, I wouldn't be bothered if I could see chopped tomatoes in it. But kids, as we all know, are very fussy eaters. Or some can be fussy eaters. And as I know, mine are fussy eaters. So we want to make sure we don't see it. It doesn't exist in the pan. You know it exists. Everybody else knows it exists. But they don't know. It is hidden inside the pan. Now I'm getting a bit hot in this kitchen now. And as we all know, kitchens are hot places to be. Now, that seems to be disguised in the pan. Don't want to see any. Thank you. Now we're going to add, I'm going to get it open, the smooth tomato sauce. Pop that in. Lovely jubbly. Now, if you're looking at my cooker and you think, oh, they're mucky, aren't they? You know, what's happened here? Well, blame my husband. He doesn't know how to clean. Now, he normally cleans the oven. And he looks like he might have done today, but right now I'm looking and I'm thinking, this ain't clean. Now, I buy 2 tins, well 2 jars. I don't necessarily have to use 2 jars, but it depends how tomatoey you want your bolognese. Now, I will add slightly a bit more bolognese sauce, so it's a bit more tomatoey, right? And then I'll save this jar in the fridge. Can only save for about 5 days. Sealed in the fridge. But you might not want another bolognese in 5 days time, so in between that time you could add this to a bit of pasta and a bit of cheese on your pasta, a bit of sauce, and it's just a quick easy meal. Pasta, sauce, bit of cheese, and then it's not going to waste then, so you're not ending up throwing the full jar or half the jar away. So a bit more, just to make it a bit more saucier. That's it. I mean, that's quite a full pan. You might not need that much. If there's only 3 or 4 of you, you're only going to need 1 pack of mince, 1 jar of sauce, a couple of bits here and there. If we've got a big family, you need a good amount. Right, now, I always add a bit of Worcestershire sauce, Leon Perrins, any Worcestershire sauce. You don't need to be specific on the brand. But this always gives the bolognese a good taste. So you add a splash of that. Right. Gives it a nice, rich taste to your bolognese. And then just let that cook away, and that's your bolognese. Right, next thing on the agenda is put your sauce away, put all your products away, tidy up, get this all put away, and then we're going to progress to the pasta. Now, I'm going to add a bit of olive oil to my water, just a bit. So added all your salt in there. And then we're going to turn that up a bit so it's boiling nicely. Open your pasta. And then add that to the pan. Not too much, because remember 2 of us are having pasta, where the rest are having chips. That up, put that away. My massive pasta cupboard. Move all this out of the way. Tidy as you go. Rid of all your rubbish. Back in the cupboard, put that back in the fridge. Oh, I think we do have some parmesan. Hopefully, it'll be fine. Parmesan, Italian, Parmesan, Parmesan. Not many people like Parmesan cheese, but I do. Now, so I better chop this sausage roll up and stir my pasta, Don't want it sticking, do we? Give that a good mix. There we are. Look at that. Lovely jubbly. Everybody's cooking nicely. So all I should do is chips. Oh, sausage roll. From Greg. Right, where's the scissors? No scissors. Scissors. Right, now chopping up the sausage roll. Of course, she's only little. And she can't eat big pieces. I'll let that cool down a bit. I mean, this is not on the menu. This is just not having bolognese. She don't want it. So, as you know, in a family, you get kids where you have to cook different meals for different children because they all want different things. Instead of all having the same thing, and having the same thing means it makes it cheaper. But as we all know, kids don't make anything cheap. Right, wash my hands. I'm sweating in the kitchen because it's hot in the kitchen tonight. I'm sweating in the kitchen because it's hot tonight in Mama's kitchen. Come to Mama's kitchen. Cool down. So I'm gonna go now, and I'm gonna go have a cigarette, and we'll come back for part 4. Bye. Hi and welcome to Mama's Kitchen Part 4. Right, so we're nearly there now. Tea's nearly ready. Bolognese, look at that. Juicy. Pasta boiling away. Chips are on the go. Cooking over there. Right, now we need to get his garlic bread in. Now, if I had more time, I could possibly make my own garlic bread, but I ain't got time. Can't bother. So, buy it in the box. Well, half a garlic bread. Not even half. Full garlic bread. Let's have a look. Does it look alright? My husband can have that. It's alright. Keep that there. That's the amount for my husband. Right. So, wash my hands because they're a bit garlicky. Wash them hands. Always wash your hands, whatever you're doing, give them a wash. Now, the garlic bread goes in the oven, gas mark 5 for 15 minutes, and then that should be nice and ready. Then you can get everything on the plate, then everybody's got the tea. And then I can have my tea, unwind, and forget about the world, and just relax. This is the time of the day that all mothers can't stand. All they want to do is get home, get the washing done, get the tea made, get the kids to bed, and then they can finally sit down, relax and enjoy the rest of the evening without any kids pestering them. But you see, my kids aren't kids anymore, they're actually adults, but I've been through it all, so if you've got any questions about kids, just let me know and I'll answer them best I can for you. Right, but while we're here, this is Mama's Kitchen. Remember that, Mama's Kitchen. It's all about easy, cheap, reliable food that's easy when you get home, you're not messing about. Never mind all these posh chefs with the posh meals. I ain't got time for that. I need to do my cooking the way I do my cooking. Right, so in the oven it goes. 15 minutes, gas about 5. Cooking on a budget, as we all are, because food's expensive, isn't it? So, you know, when you've got a big family, you've got to cook on a budget. So, timer. Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes, please. Thank you very much.
15 minutes, starting now.
So, now, this spray oil, 1 can, I use it for everything. It's just simple. If you don't want anything sticking, just spray a bit of this on, and no sticks. And you can do anything with it. Egg, cook an egg, flip it over, there you go, egg. And less calories as well. There we are. So, we're just waiting for the chips now, the garlic bread, the pasta's nearly ready, the bolognese is looking good, nearly there, nearly done. And then, if you come back in part 5, it should all be on the plate, ready to go. And then we can all tuck in and enjoy. And I'll see you in part 5. And welcome to Mama's Kitchen, part 5. So, I've just done my husband's Mexican rice. Get that out. Now ignore the microwave, it seems to be a hazard, that. So, we're just going to add the rice to the plate. And then we need some chips. So, chips on the plate. That's one portion chips. And I want another portion of chips. Another portion of chips. And then some chips for the hubby. Portion of chips, and lose all the chips while we're at it. Throw that in the bin. So, let's make some space. Right, that's all the chips. For who's having chips. Now, pasta's all ready, so that's myself and my son who's having pasta. There's quite a lot of pasta there, probably won't need all that. That's that. That's done with. Now the bolognese. Turn that off. Give that a mix. And then equal portions for them all. Bit of bolognese. Bolognese. Italy packed up and went in my house. Didn't it? There we are. Bolognese and chips. Then come for the pasta. Right. Now there's plenty left. Let me just give it to your husband. There we are. And then don't forget about your garlic bread. All the way around. Garlic bread done. Now we've got to add Parmesan cheese. Whoever's having Parmesan cheese. And get your little grater. That one. Not everybody likes cheese, remember. Good amount of Parmesan, you can't beat it. Lovely jubbly. That one. Now, if you want a quick and easy meal, bolognese. And a bit of mayonnaise. Well, more than a bit. So, if you want an easy, on a budget meal, welcome to Mama's Kitchen. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe and save. Comment below if you want to comment below. And hopefully next time I will post another video of something cheap and simple and easy. If you want me to make anything that you think's on a budget let me know. Mama will make it. Thanks for watching. Bye.